All right. All right, let's see if this stays stable. All right, so off rip, what we got happening here. Take a look at the DXY and Euro USD. Euro USD is sweeping these London lows and rejecting out of this hourly fair value gap and sweeping the previous 4-hour low as well. Now against DXY, we haven't taken out London lows yet, or the respective 4-hour low either. So this to me is creating an SMT between those two levels. So that's our initial SMT, which to me tells me, all right, dollar wants to come down so we can push euro up. Go ahead and mark these out. SMT, SMT. All right, so I'm gonna drop it down to the 5. I'm actually gonna come to Euro USD and GBP USD, and so we have the same thing. We actually also have SMTs, hourly SMTs between euro dollar and pound dollar, both on a session swing point. And we also have, I'm actually going to delete this. We have this 2-candle SMT, which I really, really love to see and love to trade, where pound didn't take out the previous hour low, but euro dollar took out the low. So with this SMT between pound dollar and euro dollar, and an SMT additionally with the DXY, that to me signals that dollar, particularly euro USD, I'm definitely going to want to look for some longs. We're coming out of this hourly fair value gap, so the last thing that I want to see is this 3-minute fair value gap get inverted. And once we get an inversion of this level, also have a 5-minute level as well, a 5-minute FEG that we can invert as well. I might take the shorts, or I'm sorry, not the shorts, the longs here. Let's see, kind of close above. I'm gonna wait actually for this 5-minute. I'm gonna wait for this 5-minute to invert. Once we get this inversion in the next minute and 45 seconds, we'll take some longs. But I really like this setup. Go ahead and clean this up a little bit. This is our SMT. Yeah, we're pushing really nicely here. Did we get an inversion of that 3-minute? Kinda, not really. So yeah, we're gonna wait for the 5-minute. We're gonna wait for the 5 and potentially target some London highs and lows are actually already taken too. So yeah, we'll just target probably this hourly fair value gap that hasn't been filled yet. So I'm probably gonna look for something like this. Something like that. I hope we get a little bit more of a retracement before we go for it, but let me do this. Yeah, I like the longs. We're also super bullish. Okay, we got 27 seconds before the candle closes. Let me get my order ready. All right, I'm entering long. All right, we're long on Euro USD. Let's go to the chart. Let's see how she does. Putting my stop a couple pips below the swing low point. And again, I really want to target at least that unfilled hourly fair value gap. I'm gonna actually set an alert for this current high as well. Yeah, I really like the longs here. Rejecting out of this hourly. Yeah, we'll see. Gonna monitor it on the hour. Actually, the 5. something, bitch. Alright, so yeah. Bro, GBP USD is having some nice volume. I need Euro USD to follow suit. Place. To my audience watching, like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully this trade doesn't fuck me. But yeah, we doing a challenge where we're taking a 10K account to 100K in payouts and $1 million in capital. So today is day one. Today is day one of that challenge. We've got a fresh 10K account. I tried to have it on the screen, but I don't know, OBS is being kind of funky. So I'm gonna have to figure that out for the next stream. But we're currently in these euro dollar plays. Let's see, DXY is still holding. Euro USD. All right, we're getting a little bit of action here. What time frames? I'm looking at the 5-minute time frame, but the analysis was done on the hourly time frame. So to like recap this trade right quick, we took the longs because my computer's a little bit slow, but okay. So yeah, we took this play because we are rejecting out of an hourly fair value gap, and we have an hourly SMT with both GBP USD and DXY. So we see here that London lows were taken out by Euro USD, and the previous 4-hour low, actually, and the previous hourly low too. So we have 3 liquidity sweeps here, or liquidity points that were swapped out, and then DXY failed to take out those respective lows as well. So to me, that shows me that, well, I say lows, I have the DXY chart inverted, so technically it's highs. But that shows me that the dollar is weak, right? There's weakness in the dollar, so I'm expecting longs here. We have the same, another SMT between Euro dollar and GBP USD as well, where GBP USD did not take out that previous hourly low right here. But again, same low that was taken out on Euro USD that wasn't taken out on DXY applies here too. So confluence check, we have a 2-candle SMT, which are the SMTs I like to take. We have an hourly fair value gap that we're rejecting out of. And we even have session SMTs as well, right? We have London lows that were taken on Euro dollar and they weren't taken on GBP USD. So those are 3 super high probability confluences that prompted me to take this trade. And then I took my entry on the 5-minute inversion fair value gap here. So as soon as we got this candle that closed, I entered my position. I have the stop right below the low. And we're targeting this unfilled hourly fair value gap. It's like super tiny. I don't know from which point it was. Okay, so it was actually already filled, but that is a point that hasn't been, or that fair value gap still has not been invalidated. So there's a lot of bullish momentum with Euro USD as well. Like you can see, we've just been like all since PM yesterday, pretty much going up. Swept a bunch of liquidity at the start of the session, and now I think personally we're gonna continue up. I could be wrong, but so far we're looking okay. I'm gonna mark out this high here, and I'm actually gonna mark out the 2-hour point. Okay, so the 2-hour point is would be a little bit above this session high that we currently got going on. So ideally, I'd really like to go for a 3R, especially because we have the SMT with the DXY. So an SMT with DXY is very, especially on the higher time frame, like the hourly, is very strong and very high probability. So yeah. How can you read where liquidity was swept and moving in the direction you want? Okay, so in ICT Concepts world, liquidity basically is sell stop, buy stop orders that are at like retail levels, like retail support and resistance levels. So I both support and resistance levels, and also session highs and lows as well. So typically in the retail realm, traders are looking to either like take stop orders for breakouts, or they are putting their stop losses at these points because they're anticipating like, okay, we hit this, we hit this support, this level of support, this level of resistance, we bounced up from it. I'm going to put my stop right at this level because technically it shouldn't go back to that level, or it should continue up. So when I say liquidity, how can you read where liquidity was swept? Basically, a liquidity sweep is when you see price going through those levels and basically rejecting out of it. So it's basically like institutional orders need all those retail orders to basically push their massive orders through, if that makes sense, if I'm explaining that correctly. So again, typically in ICT realm, right? It's in session. Can you show me an example on the chart? Yeah, for sure. So like I said, major support and resistance levels, session highs and session lows. So I have my session highs and lows marked out by these like boxes here. So this pink box is London, pretty much the London session, like London kill zone. So we have the session high up here that's marked out by this, red candle. You can't really see it, but the low is also marked out by this red candle. So you can see here like how the wick of this hourly candle came and we took it out. Like we came down and closed right back up above this level. That's a liquidity sweep. We also have, I have these, this indicator marking out the previous higher time frame highs and lows. So this one's the 4-hour. I have the 4-hour high and low marked. So we can see here again with this candle, this 8 a.m. candle, we came and we took that previous 4-hour low, right? We came, it's marked this level basically. If I go to the 4-hour time frame, you can see it. Like we have this pretty much. That's the 4-hour low, basically. I just have this indicator that automatically marks it for me. So we came, took it out, and we're now rejecting and going up. So yeah, we see DXY didn't come and take these lows. Well, we took this previous hourly low, but we didn't come down to the London session lows, and we didn't take out this 4-hour low. So that's pretty much what like SMTs are. They're, you're looking for divergences within correlated assets. So for one asset to take out the same higher low on that respective asset, and for it to not take out that same higher low point on the other asset that you're comparing it to. But yeah, it's kind of like I like having these indicators and using also like these fair value gaps. I will only look at higher time frame fair value gaps. I was looking at lower time frame fair value gaps and I was getting slayed. was getting my shit rocked hella hard on the lower time frames. So, and typically higher time frame levels are a lot stronger as well. So to me, well, with this strategy that I'm training specifically and the strategy that I'm going to be using to take this challenge, I'm only looking at the hourly time frame for like my key levels. I'll go down to the lower time frames just for like entries and precision, but like the core of the strat of actually entering on something, I have to see my higher time frame levels get hit. And that for me is just the 1 hour. The 1 hour is like the sweet spot for me. I don't really like to go any higher. I'll maybe look at the 4 hour for like those high and low sweeps, but I just found like the hourly with this strategy works really, really well. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Classically Michi. Glad to have you here. Where are you from? Classically Michi. Where are you tuning in from? If you're still here, maybe you left. It's okay. Thailand? No way. That's crazy. I'm in Thailand too. What? Are we neighbors? Where in Thailand are you coming from? Are you tuning in from? What? Yeah. Crazy work. All right, I need volume to kick in, and I need Euro USD to fucking pop its thing. Pop its thing up. Koh Samui. Oh, that's so cool. I've never been to Koh Samui. Koh Samui. Koh Samui? I think it's Koh Samui. K-O-H. Damn, bruh. You don't even know how to spell the place you're living at? You should deport you. I'm kidding. I heard, though, somebody told me recently that apparently Koh Samui has experienced a 27% a 27% increase in tourism because of White Lotus. Did you know that? It's crazy work. Are you that statistic? Are you one of the foreigners? 28%, my bad. My B, actually. Wow, well, I hope you're enjoying Koh Samui. I'm in Chiang Mai. All right, pound is popping. And Euro has not followed yet. So this is interesting, right? So this whole strat that I trade, for anybody that wants to know, who cares, is I look for divergences. So specifically, there's two types of SMTs that I look for. I look for 2 candle SMTs. What type of orders are you placing? I'm placing... What type of orders? What do you mean by what type of orders am I placing? I'm in buys right now, if that's what you're asking. I place market orders, actually, if that's what you're asking. I don't really use limit orders. Oh, okay, yeah. I place market orders. I don't use limits or stops. I use market orders because my entry depends on the formation of an inversion fair value gap. So as soon as like a fair value gap gets inverted, as soon as the candle closes, that's where I'm entering. So market orders. If I miss the trade, like maybe I wasn't paying attention or just moved too fast or whatever, I could put a limit order like right at that level. So like say I missed this like move right here, I could place a limit order here because that's where I'd want my entry to be. But like 99.9% of the time they're market orders. All right, but I want to look at this though, because we're on GBP USD, and now what we have is GBP USD took out that hourly high, and we didn't take out the previous hour high here as well. So you can see what this indicator, and I love this indicator. This indicator is freaking amazing. I just came across it like a couple days ago. But this marks out basically unconfirmed SMT. So it confirms the SMT once there are a few candle closures away from that level. But the problem with the traditional or like the regular type of SMT indicators that I've been using is that they only show confirmed SMTs. And because I'm looking at hourly levels, it'll be like my entry would have been, you know, gone by the time I would have been alerted, or by the time the indicator even picked up that SMT, right? Because, yeah, I take my entries on the lower time frame. So by the time another hourly candle goes by, like, you know, it could potentially have already ran up to my target or whatever. But we do have this hourly SMT here. Now, typically what I do is once I see an opposing SMT that forms, that's where I want to start managing my position. Now, the only thing here is that on GBP USD, like there's not a whole lot of traffic stopping us from going up, at least on the hourly time frame. It's probably different on the 4 hour. Actually, let me go to the 4 hour time frame. Yeah, we're taking out those highs too. There's not a whole, yeah, I'm like, okay, this is like December of last year. Yeah, we ran a ton of highs. Oh, it's picking up these hourly fair value gaps on the 4 hour time frames. Okay, so we have some levels here that I might want to watch out for, especially as we approach it here and here. I'm gonna mark these out because they're probably just, with the settings that I have with this FEG indicator, it might not pick it up. Just gotta my OCD right quick. Yeah, we formed an hourly, or potentially forming an hourly SMT, so that means that we might see a rejection. However, what I was going to say is that they're not coming out of any fair value gaps currently. So usually if like it's taking the previous hour high and it's not taking the previous hour high on, you know, the other asset, and it's like also rejecting, like if this was actually rejecting out of like a fair value gap that was there, or even here, right? Like maybe we have a bearish fair value gap here. So we'd have like an SMT, and we're rejecting a fair value gap. Fair value gaps are like my zones. They're like my support and resistance zones. You can kind of look at them if you're not really familiar with ICT concepts. But this is where I'd want to start managing my position a little bit more aggressively. So moving my stop to break even, which I actually think I'm going to do now, because it could reverse. It could reverse. If we didn't have this, like if GBP/USD didn't take out these highs, I would still be holding it. But because we have this like opposing signal, I'm going to just try and protect the position, because I don't want to get stopped out, even though again we don't have any like fair value gaps that we're rejecting out of, so it could keep pumping, but I don't know. I'm still gonna move my stop though. So yeah, I wonder if I can see it. Will it show me? Okay, it won't show me on the 5-minute. What got you into trading ICT concepts? I have a problem where I tend to switch strategies and can't find what works for me. What got me into trading ICT concepts was it's actually my little brother, funny enough. Well, actually there's like several things, right? When the CFD space like blew up last year, or yeah, in 2024, when everything just like went into shambles, I lost some funded accounts with firms going down, and I ended up making the switch to futures because there's just so much uncertainty in the space. Firms were like banning US traders, blah blah blah, X, Y, and Z. But I had to change my trading strategy, because with futures firms you have to, it's like you have to be a day trader, like a scalper or a day trader. You can't hold positions overnight, and that's how I was trading before. That's how I made like a bulk of my money. I was trading Bitcoin, and I was like, sometimes I was holding Bitcoin for like a day or two, maybe even 3 days. So I had to basically just switch my approach. And I know ICT Concepts has been like massive in the space, and I was always just like kind of surrounded by it. But yeah, basically when I was like trying to figure out like, okay, how am I going to trade these futures firms, I needed to basically find a new strategy. ICT Concepts is super popular. Tons of people have been making insane money trading ICT Concepts. So that's pretty much why I made the switch. And like I said at the beginning, my little brother, it's funny, I actually told him to check out ICT Concepts because he was struggling. And then when I started struggling, I'm like, hey, so how has that been working for you? And he really, really liked it. The approach of how to like just read the markets, it like just brought a lot of clarity on like why things move the way that they do, when they're gonna move, like all the whys and whats and hows. And you have a problem where you tend to switch strategies and can't find what works for me. Well, how long are you actually trading a strategy before you switch it? Because every strategy has its like down period and losing period. Like every single strategy. Like, have you thoroughly back tested it? And how long are you writing it out? Like, I would say if you're going to trade something, obviously you want to have like data with it and have a lot of back tested results, but also like stick with it. You get frustrated easily when you go on a losing streak. So maybe a few weeks. Yeah, that's like that's valid. That's valid, but like market conditions and the market is so cyclical and the conditions are constantly changing. So is it like, are you writing it out during a bad, maybe it's just like the conditions are just not ideal? Like, are you trading while those conditions just aren't ideal and you're just automatically assuming like, hey, the strategy sucks, it doesn't work? Or is it just like that part of the statistic of your data of the strategy which you should have, which is just like, okay, this is just one of those like losing periods that I'm going through? I would say like the biggest thing that I have to even now, because I've found myself even recently, just like always trying to like find like the holy grail. Like, what's that one thing, that next tweak that I can do that's gonna like gonna set me on like insane win streak, right? Like an insane win rate. And the reality is that that's just not, no matter how good your strategy is, you're always gonna have the chance of losing, and you're always gonna have the chance of having a losing period. But you have to remember that like a losing trade doesn't mean it's a losing day. A losing day doesn't mean it's a losing week. A losing week doesn't mean that it's a losing month. And a losing month doesn't necessarily mean that it's a losing year. So like zooming out and just having a much broader perspective and just a long-term vision of this game, I think will help you try and stick with something a little bit more. You have a problem when live trading and controlling your emotions. You close too soon or open trades early because of FOMO. Any tips for this? I've been trading for a long time, yet still struggle. Yeah, I mean, I would probably say like you're closing too soon or opening trades early because of FOMO. Are you trading because, how do I say this? Like, what's your reason basically for trading? And the reason why I ask that is because, and you'll hear this all the time in the space, that like you have to detach, and this is just a lesson that I'm still trying to, assimilate into my brain myself. But you really have to detach from the money and stop looking at this like losing a trade as like losing money. Financial freedom, but I want it so bad I get stressed and so emotional. You have to let go of that. And it's like it's funny, like I talk about this with my brother all the time. Trading is the most like counterintuitive thing that you can do, because it's like, this is the only game where the less you do, the more that you make. The more you let go, the more you make. Like the easier things become. The more you attach to an outcome, the harder it is going to be for you to actually get the results that you want, because just the markets just don't work that way. financial freedom, but you want it so bad and you get so stressed and emotional. You have to let go of that. You have to, if you want to make this happen and make this work, you have to look at trading as just like just a purely statistical game that doesn't even involve money, right? How are you supposed to do that? Obviously, everybody gets into trading because, you know, you can make money, but like literally the minute you stop thinking about the money, I think is when it actually gets easier, because the only reason why you have FOMO and attachment to this is because you want money. And again, it's like so counterintuitive when you think about it, but that's just like how this game works. Tips, if I would tell you any tips, oh man, it's hard. It's hard, especially if you've been trading for a long time. It's hard, but it's not impossible. It just takes a lot of mental work and mental resilience, self-awareness, and just discipline to constantly just remind yourself, like, you know, stop looking at this being like a winning trade in monetary terms or a losing trade in monetary terms, and try and start looking at it from like just a statistical perspective. Like, okay, was this, you know, when I won a trade, it was just a statistic. If I lose a trade, all it is just a statistic. And at the end of the day, if you have the data to back it, you should trust in that for sure. I would say for me, definitely having to get enough data and just see it objectively in front of me was like one of the first steps. Because it was just like, okay, if I'm still losing, am I losing because I didn't execute my strategy right? Or am I losing because I actually, you know, it was just a statistic that I'm experiencing? Or am I losing because I skewed what I said I was going to do? I skewed the approach, the process, like the rules that I wrote out for myself. You have to be super disciplined, and you just have to detach from the money. You have to detach from the money. I've been trading for a freaking long time, and the times where I made money very effortlessly, it was literally effortlessly. Like I didn't need the money. I was just like, I just traded because I loved trading. I was just trying to perfect this process. And that's when I made the most money. And the times where I needed the money and I needed to trade, bro, the struggle was so real and so demoralizing. Oh my God. But I come back for more because I love it. I love these charts. But hang in there. Hang in there. You got to be honest with yourself too. You have to be so honest with yourself when you're looking at these charts and you're trading and reviewing like your performance and stuff. Like, you have to treat it like a high performance sport. You'll hear that all the time. And all these people who are actually making money, like they all say the same thing. Like, this isn't something that you can kind of like just do passively, you know, like passively try and trade, passively, you know, try to just make money just to make money. Like, you have to, it's a lot of work. You can't, the ability to gain financial freedom from this is so attainable, but like even that concept in itself, like financial freedom, being able to become financially free, like that is something that's so huge that so many people don't experience in their lifetimes. And the only ones that do are the ones that put the work in genuinely to get there. So yeah, you got to detach from the money. You have to detach from the money, have a process, stick to that process like religiously, and just accept the outcome regardless. Whether you win or you lose, you accept it. You're not attached. You're just like there's this guy, his name's Randy Howell. He's like a trading psychologist. And he describes it as literally, and I already said this, but literally just like you're just experiencing a statistic. That is it. Like reframing it in your mind that way might help you a little bit. It's kind of what's been helping me and stopping me from losing my shit, which I still lose my shit, but I'm only human. But hang in there, dude. Would you recommend any good trading resources such as books or podcasts? I would recommend Trading in the Zone for sure is a really good book. That one gets thrown around a lot. Rightfully so. It's a great book. I really, really like Randy Howell for Trading Psychology. It sounds like what you're going through is not even so much like a strategy thing, it's a psychology thing. And you'll hear it all the time. Like psychology is like 99 fucking percent of it, and trading is like 1%, or technical analysis is 1% or whatever. Obviously, I'm exaggerating this statistic, but I really, really like Randy Howell. He's like a kind of like an old head in the game, but the way he speaks is just it's very professional, and it just makes, it's very simple, it's professional, and it just makes sense. So Randy Howell, Trading in the Zone, and even any just like I don't want to say self-help books, but any like just self-development books and resources, and then it doesn't necessarily have to be trading related, because I am a firm believer that, you know, that trading makes you grow. Like, you have to grow as an individual to really, really do this and really find long-term success in this. And that involves like just changing the wiring of everything, just changing the wiring in your brain on how you approach things. There's this saying, the way that you do one thing is the way that you do everything. So like taking an honest look at yourself and being like, hey, am I really disciplined in other areas in my life? And that's a skill set, right? But it's something that you can develop, and just through practice as well. So personal development books, maybe. I really like, and this is, you know, some people might think this is a little foo-foo, and I don't care, but I really, really love Joe Dispenza's work. Like, Joe Dispenza talks about like quantum mechanics and quantum physics, and basically how you can like change yourself on like a quantum level. But it takes a lot of work. The way he explains things is just like, God, it just makes so much sense. So Trading in the Zone, check out Randy Howell podcasts. Or he doesn't have podcasts, but he just like has a bunch of like psychological talks and stuff, like talks on trading psychology. And any personal development books that you feel like resonates with you. I really like Joe Dispenza. Some people turn to the Bible, some people turn to religion, like some people turn to like people like David Goggins or whatever. Just find something that like resonates with you, because it's also not a one size fits all. Yo, Euro USD? The fuck is you doing? All right, let's see how we look like on DXY. Classically Michi, I think you can do it though. I also believe that if you don't give up, it will happen 100% for you. Eventually you'll get it, eventually you'll learn, eventually things will click, and eventually it'll become easier. But you just gotta stick through it and just be honest with yourself. You have to have fierce self-awareness. In it for the long run, baby, let's go. That's the only choice we got. There is no other choice. There's no plan B. But damn if it ain't worth it. This shit's hard though. This shit's hard. But I love it. Wow, Classically Michi, thank you so much for like engaging and tuning in. I hope you find so much success in your trading journey, and I hope that if you're watching this, like maybe you can learn something. I've only ever gotten one payout, but hoping I can secure more. You've gotten one payout, you've already beat the statistics, bro. Oh, it looks like we might get stopped out at break even. You already got one payout, bro. You already beat the statistics. There's also levels to this shit too. Bro, I got my first payout back in 2020, and my first payout ever was like 10 grand. And I was just like, what? This is insane. I'm rich. I'm only going up from here. Psych! The market humbles you. There's levels to this shit, but don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. With each payout and each progression that you make, you'll be faced with a whole new set of challenges, but you only face those challenges as you progress, and they only make you better. You can't fall victim to it as well. I did that for a really long time. I like got really down on myself because I was never able to like, I made that payout and I was never able to make a payout that big again. Well, my payouts after that were like $1,000, like $2,000, maybe a couple $100, but never hit that like 10K mark again. But you can do it. If you've already gotten one, you've literally beat like the most insane statistics that are against you. I think I saw it somewhere. I'm gonna butcher the stats, but it's something like only, I think like 7% of traders who take challenges actually pass them, and only like, I think like 5% of those 7% of traders actually make it to a payout. How do you get yourself back emotionally after losing an account? I had the same issue. Got that payout and can't pass another account. That's a good one. How do I get myself back emotionally after losing an account? What's worked for me in the past after losing an account and like being really emotionally distraught by it is, I kind of like, I don't say, I wouldn't say like I take a break, but I definitely have to take moments to like recalibrate myself. And like I have to like, it's going to sound dramatic, but like talk myself back from like the ledge and just remind myself that if I did it once before, like I can do it again. Like I've already proven that I could do it. Why can't I do it again? But that takes like, again, it's like just self-awareness. Like you really can't get down on yourself. You can't beat yourself up. You can't, fall victim to what happened. Like you have to take accountability, and you have to just build that confidence. For me, what really helps is I'll consume content that helps me build my confidence back up. And I also just like talk to myself a lot too. Like I have to, like I'll constantly be reminding myself like, no, I can fucking do this. Like I can fucking do this. If I see these Neanderthals on freaking Instagram and YouTube or Twitter or whatever, like just pure Neanderthals that can do this, like I can freaking do this. I did it once, I can do it again. So I do a lot of self-talk though. I have to do a lot of like self-pep talk, almost to the point where it's just like, you have to be like delusional. Like you have to be delusional to make it in this game. And again, that's another thing that's just like, that's so counterintuitive. What are you talking about? But your brain remembers that shit. Like that literally like, you're literally wiring yourself to think that way with even just the things that you say to yourself. So being very conscious of that and just getting back into it, refining your edge, reviewing why you lost, how you lost, coming back better, and just believing in yourself too. Like you have to just be like, no. You find yourself being like, fuck, I don't know if I could do this. You have to be like, no, I can fucking do this. Like I can do this. I did it once before. I can do it again. That potential, as like Joe Dispenza talks about in regards to like you being able to even of making that first payout, like that's in here. Like that wiring is there. It exists. You might just have to like, like fucking, what do you call it? Jumpstart your wires, cross some wires back to get back to that point in your mind. But if you did it once before, like it's already in there. You can do it again. What's the one thing about trading that nobody tells you, but you had to learn the hard way? What's one thing about trading that nobody tells you, but you had to learn the hard way? Wow. That one's deep. I would say just the impermanence of it all. Like everything is so temporary, and once you think you get it, you letting your guard down, like that's when the market comes back. Yo, I don't know if you've ever seen JJK, But there's this one scene in JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen, where the main character, his name is Itadori, and like he is like learning basically. So JJK is like, long story short, it's like this world of like sorcerers that like use sorcery to like fight and kill bad spirits and demons and stuff, kind of basically. So the main character Itadori, he's I don't know how I can explain this super quick without going into it, but basically the scene is like he's learning how to control basically his I forgot what it's called, but basically his energy, his like sorcery power or whatever. And so his like mentor gives him like this like cursed doll that basically like as soon as Itadori stops, you know, concentrating on his like aura or whatever, like that cursed doll like decks him in the face, and then he has to like refocus in and like reconcentrate on like keeping his it's not aura, but it's like his energy level. And I feel like that's like kind of like the markets, right? Like you have to make sure that you're always like in control, because the minute that you stop, like the minute that you're like you let your guard down, like that's when the market comes and just like sucker punches you, like socks you dead in the throat, hard style, like super rough. So just realizing that you always, you know, always have to be like on the top of your game. Everything is impermanent. The wins are impermanent, the losses are impermanent, these accounts are impermanent. So just really like making peace with that. Everything is so temporary. You can build an edge and find ways to you know, manage that, but you have to really constantly be working on yourself, in my opinion. All right, so I guess I've got a break even on this trade, but let me see. Bro, honestly, I still like it. The DXY, we didn't create an SMT on DXY. I think we did on GBP USD though. Oh, okay, so we took out the previous hourly highs. We didn't take it out here. It's 9 a.m. I got stopped at a break even here, but personally, I still think it has the potential to go up, just because again, DXY, I would say like DXY is a bit of a stronger confluence than GBP USD in regards to SMTs. But yeah, look at this. Like, we didn't take out the highs. We took out the highs the previous hour. We took out 8 a.m. high on GBP USD, but we didn't on Euro Dollar. And the 9 a.m. candles highs also broke that 7 a.m. candles high as well. So I think we're probably going to go down. Would you consider getting back in? I'm thinking about it, but I shouldn't. I don't think I'm going to. That's something that I'm trying to work on, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to start this. Basically just streaming this process and this journey of trying to hit 100K in payouts and reach 1 million in capital, and documenting it live is so I can have a little bit more accountability with how I'm actually trading and following my rules. So the setup still looks valid, but I just don't like this. And like even me just like that, like, do I, don't I? That's hesitation right there. And the fact that I have like this hesitation to me tells me like, you know what? If it's not like a resounding obvious yes, I probably shouldn't engage back into it. So no, I'm not going to get back into this trade. I'm going to leave it as is. It's also Friday too, so I'm not trying to like wreck myself at the end of the week. I'm also not going to be trading at all next week because I'll be traveling. So yeah, but intuitively, maybe you can consider it intuitively, but it's just like, this is where self-awareness is so important, right? The fact that I'm like hesitating is just, I just rather not engage with it if I don't feel like it's super clear. It could definitely go back up, and if it does, like, it's cool, but it'll just be a missed trade for me. But I followed my rules, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. I have this challenge. I'm in no rush to complete it. Again, it's Friday. I probably really shouldn't even have started a challenge like this at the end of the week. But there's always, you know, when I come back to the charts, there's always opportunities there. There's always going to be another opportunity. So we'll just monitor this for now. I'm going to look at, yeah, DXY and EURUSD is still holding too. But that's okay. If we get another like hourly SMT, like a 2-candle SMT, like, you know, if maybe we have these highs and lows on euro dollar, right? If it takes out one of these points and it doesn't take out one of those respective points on GBP USD, I'll maybe consider another trade because it's a fresh idea and a fresh opportunity. But once I already get stopped out of something, it hasn't been going well for me when I try and dip my toes back in. When I try to double dip. We don't double dip around here. The markets don't like that. They said, ew, brother, ugh. You double dipping? Now I gotta spit in your face. Man. Yo, this is great. This is great practice. So we have a request from the audience. They didn't like my answer. Let's talk about it. Oh, yeah. Okay. So one thing about trading that nobody tells you that I had to learn the hard way. Okay, this one's a good one. Is that the markets are a reflection of yourself. And you need to have such fierce self-awareness, I think, to really find long-term success in this. I think that, like, when people come to trading, they think like, oh, it's just about like reading a chart, you know, marking some lines, and then, you know, pressing a buy or sell button. And it really is so much more deeper than that. I think that it truly is a reflection of yourself. Like, your performance is a reflection of yourself, of your own inner world, how you view things. Truly. I mean, if you think about it, like, there are hundreds of thousands of strategies out there. There's like a million strategies, and there's a million different people making a million, different ways. But we're all like really looking at the same chart. So it's like really interesting when you see like, okay, there's so many different strategies. There's so many different people making money, but then maybe you come and you see a strategy and you try and execute it, and for whatever reason it doesn't work out for you. You can't make money. That's something that's worth like looking into. I think, especially like with social media, like people get really they get that like shiny object syndrome, and like they see all these people like making a bunch of money, they're buying a bunch of things, they're traveling, whatever, they have the cars, the watches, like whatever it is that you give a shit about. And they'll try and like learn from these people or replicate what they're doing, and they can't make the money. And I think the reality is that you have to tailor your strategy to you. Like, you, at the end of the day, like it really is like, I mean, think about it. There's scalping, there's day trading, there's swing trading. Trading isn't a one size fits all, and that's something that you have to also just be really honest with yourself as well. Like if you're trading a strategy and it's just not, like, you're taking L after L, you can't make any money, you're blowing accounts or whatever, like you have to really evaluate that and see, and have just self-awareness, right? Like, how are you feeling when you're coming onto the charts? Like, how are you feeling when you're entering a trade? Like, how are you feeling when you see your trade going against you, or when you see your trade going into profit? Like, do you experience anxiety? Like, are you experiencing like, is your heart like racing? Like, are you hesitating? Like, all these things are so important in trading, and not a lot of people really talk about that. Like the whole self-awareness aspect, for sure, I think is one of the most important things. Yeah, for sure. Self-awareness is super, super key. Self-awareness, self-accountability, and self-honesty. Like, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to keep yourself accountable, and you have to be aware of like what it is that you're feeling, like in the moment, what it is that you're thinking. Like, you know, how many times are you getting into a trade, you're getting stopped out, you're jumping back in, you're not following like your plan, like whatever the case may be. Like, I think a majority of people and traders are just very unconscious to that. They're just like, they're like fucking monkeys, bro. They're like cavemen, just like swinging their little freaking stick around like on their head, like doom doom doom. Why isn't it working? And it's like, stop hitting yourself in the head and maybe you'll be able to figure that out. That's like what people are doing like on these charts. And I say people, I have been people for sure at one point in my life, but self-awareness is key. Self-awareness is key. What's the difference between somebody who gets funded and someone who keeps blowing accounts? Congrats on your first stream. I will not have a parasocial... What the fuck? I'm trying to not have a parasocial relationship with you? What the hell? What does that even mean? What's the difference between someone who gets funded and someone who keeps blowing accounts? I would say the key difference. The key difference between who somebody gets. I don't know. I feel like there's a few different ways that I can answer this. Someone who gets funded and someone who keeps blowing accounts. I think somebody who keeps blowing accounts. I think it's going to tie into what I was saying before, is somebody who has self-awareness. I think if you're somebody who keeps blowing accounts, you clearly might not be as self-aware as you need to be able to look at yourself and look at what it is that you're doing, like your trading, your approach, you know, how you're managing positions. Like, are you like actually documenting and journaling, or at least reviewing how it is that you're performing and actually changing and making the differences that you need to do? Or are you just continuing to trade the same strategy over and over again, or you're continuing to break your rules over and over again? I think somebody who's funded and keeps getting funded and keeps your funded accounts, because that's another thing. There's like two types of funded traders. There's the ones that got lucky and the ones who actually sustain their accounts, and the ones who sustain their accounts are like, bro, like maybe 0.01% of anybody who takes a challenge actually keeps their funded accounts. There's a lot of people who get funded and they just get lucky. I've definitely gotten lucky getting funded accounts and making payouts as well, and I recognize that. But yeah, somebody who is just disciplined, they treat it like a business. Like, they're very structured with their approach. They have a playbook, they have a journal, you know, they treat it like a business. Like, you hear that all the time, that you have to treat trading like a business. If you're somebody who keeps blowing accounts, you're probably just gambling, to be honest. But I will say the market conditions, especially since Trump has taken office, have like, bro, you see people online, they're like, they coded the algorithm. They coded the algo. We're cooked. It's like, that's hilarious. It's not, though. It's just a change in the market cycle. We have a completely new presidency, one that is very active, especially compared to Sleepy Joe. But yeah. But yeah. The Wimpin post. That's so interesting. So far, we've got nothing. EURUSD is coming down. DXY. Again, this chart is inverted, so I might say it's going down, but it's actually going up. But this just makes it easier for me to read these SMTs. The only way I'll probably get back into any position, like I said before, is if we have like another hourly SMT that happens with either GBP USD or DXY and Euro USD. But we're not in anything right now. It's only 9:26. I'm gonna give it another hour. It's also Friday. Yo, what happened to the tones? bankruptcy. The weapon post. What the hell? What's the real cost of learning? Oh my gosh, the real cost of learning to trade. Your mental sanity. Bro, trading will have you just questioning everything about yourself and your life, for sure. It is something that puts you through the mental ringer. It is a mirror up to yourself in a way that I don't think anything else, at least career-wise, can put up to you. But yeah, your mental is definitely the real cost. Or divorce. Bro, I think he's a bot. The real cost of learning to trade is definitely your mental sanity, for sure. Nothing has just like demoralized me and put me through the mental ringer of trading more than trading. Like, put me through like mental gymnastics more than trading. I've had some of my lowest moments during this like journey and process of trying to make this work, for sure. But it's worth it. It's worth it, 100% worth it. And I much rather have the mental anguish and stress of trading than the mental, right, I've got to trade now, so I'll be quiet. The weapon pose, where are you from? What are you trading? Yeah. The trading's tough, mentally, for sure, but it does make you a lot more resilient to a lot of other things in life. Naz, are you trading futures? Or are you trading like CFDs, or are you trading a personal account? I heard Naz I stopped looking at Naz like months ago. Trump spoke and it tanked hard. Yeah, CFDs. Dude, I heard, or I was like seeing, especially online, that like NQ, Nasdaq's price action has been like ungodly, like the most unholy that you have seen. A lot of traders who've been trading for like the last like 4 or 5 years are like, dude, I've never seen Nas barcode so hard during AM session like it has this past week. A lot of people were getting railed. Do you only trade Nas? All right, mainly Nazis these days, a bit of EU and gold. Yeah, I had to take a step away from NASDAQ. I couldn't. It was just too much for me. The volatility. I'm now focusing more on like EU, GU. I've been using the DXY as well. But yeah, NAS is gnarly. I don't know. I can't do it. I tried. Gold too. Gold is too much for me. I need something a little bit slower and a little bit more, at least with like the way that I trade. But people make hella money though. Hella money with NAS and gold. My brother trades gold. He's like killing it trading gold. Man, something needs to happen. I don't think we have any news today. Yeah, there's nothing today. The Wimpin posts. What kind of strategy do you trade? Like, how do you trade? I've never traded gold, but I heard it's crazy. I'm too emotional for that. Look at you, classically Michi. There's your self-awareness, bro. You're too emotional. You know you can't trade gold. That's perfect. That's the first step. You gotta recognize. You gotta be honest with yourself. People are trying to be like, oh, like you have to be a robot trading. Like you have to take emotions completely out. Like, bro, we're human beings. That's not possible. That's not possible at all. You definitely have to learn to manage your emotions a little bit better, but you also have to know like what makes you tick. Like, can you handle, like there's some people who can't handle like scalping. Like scalping is like too crazy for them, too much for them. They overtrade. You know, some people can't handle holding trades for hours to days on end. My toes are so sweaty from this PA. This PA has been rough, boy. That's funny. Yeah, it's just been rough out here. I want to take a look at an NQ actually. Hold on. That's so funny. What? Okay, I want to go look at NQ. Ah! No. Like, bro, what the fuck is that? PA and levels, depending on market conditions. That is gnarly. Oh, I don't have the, actually here, let me do NAS 100. That is crazy work. Yo, these markets have been rough. Oh, this was during Asia and London. But even this, look at this barcode. Just Chop City yesterday. Oh, we had a crazy tank, damn. Let me take some of this off. Yeah, these markets have been tough. I had to step away from indices and run back to the currencies, Euro USD and GBP USD. Also like using DXY. But yeah, that's a crazy dump. Doc, did you get in on this? Your toes are sweaty. That's such a wild statement. What the fuck? That's so funny. Doc, what are you trading? Are you just trading NQ? Yeah, there's like no movement in QES. Yeah, that's a wild dump. Oh my god, what? 2%? Holy shit. Michi, I got chopped last week. Bro, y'all got chopped. We were all chopped cheese. I just happened to be in the cell. Oh, GG's, bro. Hell yeah. Did you ride that whole move? Dude, that's the other thing. Like, with Trump in these markets, like, Trump literally speaks in, like, all of it. Hell yeah. Dude, that is so sick. Good for you. Fuck yeah. That's wild. That's nasty. Oh my god. I need something to happen already. No patience. Patience. I'm not in anything anyways. That is lit. I wonder how S&P. Yeah. Bro, it's so crazy, these moves. Tank. This is on Wednesday? That's wild. I like to look at AUD USD and NZD USD, but mainly during London session. There have been some AU and NU have been feeding during London. Not so much during New York. I wonder how gold's been doing. Yeah, gold had a nice pump up, and now she's coming back. She's taking previous day high. So I take it from the terms used. Yeah, your ICT. Yeah, I trade a little bit of, or not even a little bit. Yeah, I definitely trade ICT concepts, but I didn't go through his entire mentorship. I've been trading for like a couple years before that, so I already had like a basic understanding of like just how the markets move and works. I used to actually, when I was making a bunch of money with CFD firms before like they took a dump. I was trading with like EMAs and stuff, like price action and EMAs, which was working really well on crypto. But yeah, when I ended up trying to switch to futures, I ended up learning a little bit of ICT. But I've really enjoyed the concepts, and I really like the way, I guess, like they work and being able to identify them, and it's like brought a bit of clarity to what it is that I look for and why it is that I look for it. Before, it was just like, when I was trading with EMAs, it was like I didn't really have a whole lot of structure. It was almost like there was also always like a trade to be taken with the way that I was trading, which I definitely got lucky quite a bit. But with ICT, at least the way that I've like tried to create a model out of it, it's a lot more calm way of trading. But I didn't go through the entire mentorship at all. I think I watched like a couple videos, and I've also was just seeing a lot of ICT over the years, like on my feed. So I was already like unconsciously gaining that knowledge that way. But I would say like the concepts that I really use are just like fair value gaps, inversion fair value gaps, and like liquidity levels. I used to be super against like trying to learn ICT though. I was just like, yo, that's a cult. These people, they're crazy. They think this man coded the algo. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. I don't really care. But there were definitely some like super diehard fans. They would like put his like picture as like their profile pictures on like social media. I'm like, that's a little much, but I don't know. As long as you're making money, there's a million ways to make money out here. Man, 15 minutes to 10. It's Friday. I really don't feel like being on the charts that long. Yeah, those two are from India. Yeah, it's really interesting. I don't think anybody should idolize anybody that hard to like make them their profile pictures on social media. And there's a lot of people that do that. It's like an obsession. I don't know. It's weird. But to each their own. To each their own. That's the beauty of trading though. I love it. There's so many ways to trade. Oh my god. Like one of my brothers, like I cannot fathom the way that he trades, but like he makes money trading the way he does. He trades he doesn't even trade like a specific definitely doesn't trade ICT. He's like a bit of a discretionary trader, but he trades like specific breakout levels and trend lines. And he's made, I don't know, like over 20K over the last couple months from trading. So yeah, people just gotta find what works for them, what works for you. I could not trade the way that he trades. Like my brain doesn't compute information that way. Dude, super slow. Let me go to the 5. Yeah, look at this. The fault. You haven't done anything. 11 minutes to the close. But yeah, y'all, this might be a little bit of a dry Friday, at least for me. Do you trade breakouts at all? No. I do not trade breakouts. I do not like trading breakouts. I've never liked trading breakouts. I don't know. I feel like when you're trading breakouts, like for example, if like you're trying to trade the breakout of, hold on. Like say you're trying to trade the breakout of like this level, or here, let me use this. Yeah. Like say you're trying to, oh, can I do this? No. Hold on, I gotta figure out this tool right quick. Damn, how do I use this again? Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah. So like when you're trading breakouts of like levels like this, like say I want to trade the breakout of like this high or this low, or maybe even like this hourly candle high or this hourly candle low, like for me, like trading a breakout at this level is just, I can't justify having like a really good risk to reward for me. Like for me, if I want to trade the breakout of like this level, like getting into a position up here, it's like, where do I want to put my stop? Like below this candle? Like that's like a massive like SL placement. And then where do I want to go, right? Like maybe to the next support or the next resistance level. It's like too far into or out of like a range, I guess, for me to feel comfortable with. I personally like to try getting in at like the lowest point possible in the direction. And so people who are like, say you're trying to trade a breakout of like this level right here, well, in ICT Concepts, especially if it's like a significant level, like there's a likely chance that you'll get swept out and you'll come right back up, or you'll get stopped out. So like, yeah, especially just like learning so much about ICT Concepts. If I decided to trade another strategy, it'd be really hard for me to like decondition myself from everything that I've learned with ICT Concepts. Your link, I'll put the link in the description. Thought Destroyer. It's a crazy name. Yo, what's with the profile picture? What the fuck? That's wild. That's funny. We ain't in any trades though. I think we're gonna end Friday a little dry. Yeah, usually I'd look for some type of significant movement by this point already. 9 to 10, it usually starts to fizzle out. It's Friday. So, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get anything. DXY is not offering me anything. Yeah. Let me take a look at the 4 hour. I mean, I guess, yeah, this is still the same trade idea I was looking at earlier, but I already got stopped out at break even, so this like 4 hour, this 4 hour low getting taken out and it failing too, but this is like a really massive SMT level that we're looking at here. Yeah, oh, and GBP USD is rejecting. It's rejecting out of the hourly level, so me remove those drawings. Delete this. Thought Destroyer, have you taken any trades today? Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I feel that. I feel that, bro. What are you trading? I'm actually not in anything right now. I took a trade on Euro USD, but I got stopped out at break even. I entered right here, came up to here, ended up moving my stop to break even, and then we got stopped out at break even because there's signs of potential reversals. So I just wanted to protect myself. Markets are on the CFDs, or like at least the currencies are pretty chill, but yeah, now it's like a fat nasty dump. I think same with S&P. Yeah, that's crazy. Apparently Trump said something. I wonder what Trump said. Apparently Trump said something. Someone's got to take the mic away from Trump so these markets can chill. I'm just trying to make some money. This will upset maybe. FEG was actually developed in the 80s by M.A. Perry. He calls it wide range bar. And like Huddleston, he uses many more words when a few will do. That's interesting. Yeah, I've seen online, like, I mean, I try not to, I'm not like super deep into the whole ICT, like, fucking, what do you call it? Just worlds and lore, maybe. But I've seen like a lot of people be like, yo, he's taking this from other people, or he's just like regurgitated these, slapped some new words on them and claimed them as his own. It's like interesting. And I believe that. I believe what you're saying, Whip and Post. I don't think anybody's, like, if you think about it, like, trading has been around for how many, like, decades and decades, to nearing, I think, even, like, a century already at this point. Like, how many traders are out there that have been trading? You know, I feel like you might think you've come up with, like, an original idea, but there's a very likely chance that somebody has already had that same idea, or concept, or, like, discovery of the market. M.A. Perry, he called it wide range bar. That's interesting. Yeah, that was like one of the things that like turned me off to even, you know, well, what had me like hesitant to like go into ICT Concepts is like there was just so many like just crazy terms that I was just like, what? Like unicorn and turtle soups and that, like I heard those at first. I'm like, what the fuck? Like that, like what? That's so bizarre. Like why would you call something like that? I don't know. You know, defining it what he ended up defining it. I think like the concepts work, but like if he made them, or again like the whole argument like, oh, he coded the algo, like I don't know if I believe that. I do believe like he's probably taken this stuff from other people. M.A. Perry, I gotta look into him. I've never heard of him before. In the 80s, that's crazy. How long have you been trading for? Whip and Post. Hell yeah. Gurus hijacking, dude, the people do it with ICT Concepts like all the time. They're like, oh, this is a new model, this is fucking CRT something or other, or the fucking LFQ time-based liquidity interval. Like, bro, people like just be doing the most. And yeah, they literally just take things. I think the funniest thing is like people who take ICT Concepts and they'll like try and be like, oh, I like discovered this new thing within ICT Concepts, and like they'll try and like charge people for it, like charge a course or like create a course from ICT Concepts. It's like, bro, this stuff was already free. It's so funny. You're just like trying to slap a new name on it, which I've actually like always felt this way. I've always felt like names don't really mean anything. Like, think about it. There's support and resistance. There's supply and demand. There's like liquidity levels. There's just so many like names to things. I think the concept of them what matters, but at the end of the day, like it's nearly all the same thing. People that like get so attached to those names and stuff and like identifying with that stuff or like trying to claim it for themselves or their own. It's just like, bro, what are you doing? There's this one guy. He talks about being like the creator of like IFVGs. Like, I created IFVGs. Like, anybody who's teaching IFVGs, like they're my student. It's like, bro, like I highly doubt that. Like, I highly doubt that you created it. And also, why are you just trying to claim something so hard that doesn't even belong to you, that you learned from somebody else, and then try and be like, yeah, no, but everybody else is like my student. What the fuck are IFVGs? Inversion fair. IFVGs are like inverse fair value gap. So like you have like a fair value gap, and like I don't know how familiar you are with ICT Concepts, but you have like a fair value gap basically where like the middle, like you have a 3 candle sequence, in the middle candle or the first and the third candle create wicks that don't actually end up touching, so leaving like this gap or whatever. And like in ICT world, it's like the way fair value gaps works is like, okay, this is a bullish one, price comes into this fair value gap and like comes out of it. But if price like ends up, we created this fair value gap and price closes below it, that's an IFVG, an inverse fair value gap now. So like technically this candle right here, or this like fair value gap, is like an IFVG because we had this candle, this bearish candle close below it. So like it invalidated it, which people like to use that as like to help them like determine like I guess like the direction of like order flow. So if a fair value gap is being inverted, then that's likely a signal that prices it's no longer respecting the order flow of that fair value gap. So if it was like a bearish fair value gap and it gets inverted, okay, well, it's likely that price is going to continue going up because that's, you know, an order flow level that ended up getting violated. I believe I'm explaining that right. I might not. But again, I'm just trying to find what works for me and execute on that. But yeah, this dude's like super loud online. And granted, like I did come across IFVGs through him, but the way he's just very ostentatious about it, it's just like, bro, shut up. Be humble. None of us own any of this stuff. This all belongs to the market. We're just using our primitive brains to find patterns and all of this. Because at the end of the day, like with any strat, like you can still be wrong. Like you can have, and that's like one of the things that, you know, deterred me from like going super deep into ICT Concepts. Because I was just like, there's so much shit. It's so complicated. I mean, I think he has like, bro, like he has to have like hundreds of hours of like content on like his concepts, like ICT, like ICT strategies, ICT trading. And it can get very complex. And I think trading is something that the more complex that you make it, like the harder of a time you're gonna have. Like simplicity is so key. Yeah, it's in the interest of course sellers to overcomplicate stuff for sure. They want to seem like, and this is just my opinion, like they want to just seem like very smart and educated and like very knowledgeable. Like, oh, you're throwing out all these like really big fancy terms, like you must know what it is that you're talking about. Make them sound like interesting and professional, and it's just like, bro, for sure, yeah, definitely. But that's also like totally to keep consumers buying. That's how they get people roped in. They have these like complicated stuff, show like their results, which could be more than likely faked, and they complicate this stuff to try and teach people when it's just like, if you taught somebody like just the most simple strategy, like they'll probably make a lot more money than like waiting for this confluence. But then traders will tell you there's no holy grail. Yeah, for sure. You could literally have like a fucking checklist of like 10 things that you need to see that will give you the most perfect A+ setup, and you still have the chance of losing it. Like there's still a probability that you're gonna lose. Like that's just the reality of the situation. That's the reality of trading. That's why simplicity is key. Like simplify it. Save yourself some like mental anguish. Better in trade, yeah. There really is no holy grail. How long have you been trading? I got introduced to trading back in 2017. But I didn't start taking it seriously until like 2020. So I would say like about 5 years. I that's where I like really count like my trading journey, because when I got introduced to it, it was like through like a MLM scheme. I remember like I saw like one of my homies, he like posted his MetaTrader like, oh, I just made this money in my sleep, like all from my phone. And I was just like, what? That's like insane. How did you do that? Wrote me into the whole like pyramid scheme. Oh, I have this guy who can teach you like this company. We send alerts and stuff. You don't even have to know, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, what? Sign me up. Very quickly learned that does not work. These guys don't know what they're talking about. They're just trying to, get you under their, they're just trying to recruit you. But 2020, like basically when COVID happened, is when I was just like, you know what? I'm actually going to decide to go all in on this and commit myself to this career path and journey. It's been quite the roller coaster, but I love it. I like just have such a genuine passion for trading, as much as, I've had some like highs and lows for sure. But you see a lot. I've also like worked behind the scenes with some prop firms. How can you MLM trading? It was like, they tried to like, it was like an MLM. So it's like, they're just trying to recruit you to be on their fucking team or whatever, like their company, and then you recruit other people. But they like guised it under trading. So like they'll teach you how to trade. They'll like send you alerts if you're a part of like their group. But the real money that you can make is from actually recruiting people. There's this TikTok account called CapUSD. Oh my gosh. It's like like anytime I get down and I just like in trading, I need to hit a dopamine, like I'll just go to that TikTok and watch, because it's just a bunch of people just falling for the whole the MLM scheme and just not knowing. And it's just, it's like so cringe. It's like the cringiest shit ever. But it's just like, oh my God, people are so funny. You got to be built different to stick with this though. You got to be built super different to trade and stick with it. But yeah, things are a little slow on this stream today, but it's also Friday. Also, like I noticed like a lot of people who do end up streaming, like they stream lower time frame stuff. They're like scalping, quickly trading, like 1 minute time frame. I don't really see a lot of streamers like looking at the higher time frames. Obviously the plays take a lot longer to end up going through, so maybe that's why, but I'm finding my sweet spot on the higher time frame. The lower time frame is just too much noise. Dude, it's too much noise. It's already 10:11. I think I might end up cutting it here. Yeah, we took these lows. Took these lows here. There's no more SMTs. We're just in this range right now. We're literally just ranging here. Something might happen a little bit later. Maybe closer towards market close, but I'm not gonna hang around for that. It's gonna be too late for me. You should do ASMR videos. Got a soothing, chill voice, one that could take the edge off. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, that's actually somebody else told me that I should do ASMR. Somebody that I used to work with. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I've like tried like listening in onto some other guys' streams, but they're just too extra. They're too chaotic. I do like watching like I don't know if you've seen Tanya trades. She trades futures, but I like her streams are pretty chill. But a lot of these other guys, they're just like they're wild and they're super emotional. They're tweaking out. I'm like, dude, I need to chill when I'm trading, not have somebody screaming in my ear. I need to focus. Shit, if trading doesn't work out, maybe I'll start a ASMR ASMR channel. All right. Yeah, there's just nothing for me here. Now this look like it might retrace its earlier move. Oh yeah, we're tracing big time. Already a percent from its dump. That's crazy. What kind of style of trading do you do, whip and post? Do you like, you said you caught that move earlier, so I'm assuming you're just like intraday trading? Man, what a dump. Wow. Let me take a look at ES or S&P. Yeah, intraday trade. Yeah, I don't know. I've tried trading NAS. I just never perform well with NAS. I wish I could, because it moves when you can capitalize on these moves pretty hard, especially during New York. $10.15. Oh, Euro's going back up. Whip and post, you made money today. I don't know how you trade, but I think catching that move's a really great way to end the week. That was a tasty move. Ugh, I wish I could catch moves like that. Euro dollar. She's coming back up. But I think we're gonna we're gonna have to continue this challenge on, well, actually not Monday, but in 1 week's time. You in anything? Nah, I was in Euro USD, but I ended up moving my stop to break even, and I got stopped out at break even. So I'm kind of just watching to see if this play ends up playing out, but I'm not getting into anything else at this point. It's nice to see this is actually like retracing. I hope it ends up hitting my target, but this is just something that we missed, or I missed, or I got out of, which I'm totally fine with. Yeah, we'll see if it ends up going or not, but I think I'm gonna call it here. I'd rather come back when, that's the thing, is that because it's Friday, I just don't want to hold, or I can't even hold anything over the weekend, and sometimes my trades will play out. It'll take like a session to play out, a session or two to play out, and I'm not at this point at 10 a.m. and I'm 12 hours ahead, or 11 hours ahead of New York Eastern time, so it's already like 9 p.m. for me. I don't like to really get into anything when I have to go to sleep, go to bed. Hopefully this plays through. If not, cool. If it do, cool. But yeah, I think we finna end it here. It's dangerous to hold trades overnight in the market. It just takes to barf and boom. Yeah, dude. Dude, yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Dude, the moves that especially Nas has been making over the last few months, like overnight, have been diabolical. Like, I started trading Nas. I stopped trading Nas at the beginning of the year, but I started trading it when I was getting into futures. Last year, like around like June, July, and I have never seen these moves. Like, these moves that have been happening in retrospect are like insane. All the indices, Nas, S&P, oil, gold, like these percentage moves becoming a regular thing is like super dangerous. Yeah, these swings are like disgusting. This gap from the 9th, wild. But then it's like you just look at it and it's just like, bro, it's up, down, down, up, down. It's like, what? That's crazy. I have not mastered the skill set of being able to read something like this, but even then I wouldn't want to. Again, Nas just moves too aggressively for me, which sucks because those moves can pay. Same with gold, oil. But yeah, I haven't had a lot of really good results, like even back testing them. So I'm cool with my little moves, my little 2 hours, 3 hours on a good day. Chill movements. I don't mind holding for a few hours. It's easier on my mental. I've been seeing like so many traders, a lot of ICT traders especially, they've been trading like NASDAQ over like the last week and stuff, and for everybody, it's funny though when you like zoom out and you're on the higher time frame, like you'll see people be like, bro, I got chopped and screwed today. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. It was pretty chill. Didn't seem like anything crazy to me, but also they're like trading 1 minute time frames. I like my hourly. Where are you tuning in from, Whippin'? What was that? Where are you tuning in from? Where are you from? Oh, the UK. Oh, nice. The UK. How's the weather? I like want to go to the UK, but every time I see anybody in the UK, it just looks super depressing. Oh, it's sunny today. Oh, I take that back. I digress. I'm from the US, but I'm living in Thailand right now. So, lots of sun, lots of vitamin D, lots of heat. Thailand? Yeah, Thailand. Thailand. I've been here for like a year now, a little over a year. It's solid. I love it. It's such a different lifestyle from back home in the States. Such a different lifestyle. Pace of living, people, the culture, just like the air, the energy, the vibe. it's I really, really enjoy it here. The UK. Yeah, every time somebody posts something, I'm like, why is it so cloudy? Do y'all not get sun? I'm also from Florida too. What's the internet like? Oh, it's super stable. It's like interesting, like Thailand, it's obviously a developing country, but a lot of the services are actually better than the States. Like the internet is super fast. Connection, I've never had any connection issues anywhere that we've been here in Thailand. Anything that you could need, like you could find it here. The malls are like insane. They're like nicer than the ones back in the States. There's a lot of especially on like the developed parts, like honestly it's like nice. Yeah, internet is super important when trading for sure. I think I like tried trading when I went to Bali. I mean, granted, we were in like the jungle. I was like trying to trade and I was working at the same time. I was working at the time and I had to end up going to a co-working space and working overnight from like 6 p.m. to like 5 a.m. Like driving like an hour, or not an hour, like maybe 30 minutes to the nearest co-working space. Dude, that was brutal. The internet was horrendous though. Oh my God, I thought I was gonna get fired. But yeah, no, the internet here is super, super fast and pretty cheap too, I think. Service, cell service, like everything, like literally, like there's, aside from like maybe some like American greasy, fried, grungy food spots that just when you're feeling nasty, you just want to get nasty with back in the US. Like that's probably like the only thing that's missing here. We literally have everything here. The hospitals are way more developed. Well, I wouldn't say like more developed, but they're so nice. And the care, I would say, is a lot better. The care is phenomenal. Phenomenal. And they're really nice too. Take care of you super quickly. In the United States, bro, they'll charge you like 20 grand just to ride in an ambulance to the hospital. It's like insane. $20,000 for a freaking ambulance ride. Like what? In what world does that make sense? My mom, oh my God, she broke her ankle skydiving. And like, that's how fucked it is. We were like, bro, like we can't call an ambulance. Like we just have to take her. So we literally like just in like our SUV, like from the skydiving place, like drove her to the nearest hospital. We couldn't call an ambulance. We called 911 and then we're like, oh my, like, cause I think like her insurance were lapped or something. I forgot what it was, but I ended up having to be like, we cannot, calling like the people on 911, like we cannot do that. Like we cannot pay, like we're not trying to like send the ambulance back. We're just going to take her ourselves. Like we are not trying to foot that bill. It's like, dude, it's robbery. Robbery. Oh. All right. It's about to be 10:30. It's gonna be 9:30 for me. I think I'm gonna end it here. Whip and Pose, thanks for like hanging around. Oh my gosh. I appreciate you. And also Doc, Thought Destroyer, Classically Michi. Shout out to y'all guys. I'm gonna try to stream every evening. I'm doing this kind of personal challenge for sure. I'm doing this personal challenge of trying to get $1 million in capital with prop firms and hit a 100K payout goal. So I'm going to be documenting the whole thing. Today, obviously, we didn't get anything, but I'm going to try and stream every single day for a New York session from like, I guess 8 a.m. 8 a.m. to probably like 10, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Except for next week. I'm going to Vietnam next week and I cannot trade from Vietnam. So the challenge is taking a pause. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. Hope y'all have a good weekend. If you made money, keep them gains. If you didn't, next week's a new week. Fresh start, clean slate. We come back and we hit it harder. All right, y'all. Appreciate you. Take it easy, guys.